Hello, this video is to show how to do and read a urinalysis strip. First you'll want to put gloves on. You'll have your client pee in a cup. Ideally you have clean cups, clean catch cups for them to pee in. And you'll come in, ideally again, you'll have your client do this. Some clients are okay with this, some are not, but you'll dip it. I have a potty training toddler, so I have urine to work with today. You'll dip the stick, you'll kind of let any extra run off back into the cup, and I like to put it onto a piece of toilet paper, kind of first on the side and then on the back, to let any, again, extra urine. If it's too saturated, then the colors may bleed. You'll need to, depending on your test strips, you'll need to read kind of what the timeline is of when to read them. And so what I like to do is to dip it, place it on the toilet paper, dump the pee, and then get ready to read. Usually that gives it enough time, again, depending on your test strips and how long you have to wait. I like to go, try to do this in reverse, from top to bottom. On my test strips, this is the ideal range. And so we compare, the very top one is leukocytes. And so this is gonna tell us if we're fighting an infection, maybe if there's allergies. If your client has recently had sex, sometimes leukocytes will come up in that. Probably shouldn't have flushed the toilet now that's on in the background, but that's okay. So we want it to be whatever your far color is. Usually that's white, indicating that there are no leukocytes. Leukocytes are white blood cells in the urine. The next one on mine is nitrites. It's not something that I pay attention to. And then urobilirubin, again, not something that I pay attention to. Next is protein. For clients, you should have negative, sometimes trace, but really you want negative proteins in their urine. If there's protein in the urine, then that indicates that they're usually not getting enough protein in their diet. Sometimes this can be the first indicator that they may be developing preeclampsia, but as midwives, we're working with them, we're coaching them as far as how to eat healthy and things like that. So if you see protein in the urine, then usually the next step is to say, let's add some more protein into your diet and see what it looks like next time we see each other. pH, everybody's pH varies. It's not something that we pay too much attention to unless it's kind of wildly off the charts. And if it is, then again, we're just kind of asking them what's been going on. Have you recently had sex? Have you been swimming? Have you, did you shower and do you use fragrant shampoo or fragrant body wash? Those things. And again, that's important to know because they shouldn't be doing that. But things that can kind of throw off pH. Next on mine is blood. Blood in the urine can be an indicator of a UTI. So we want to make sure that there's no blood in the urine. Sometimes it can also mean that they recently had sex. Sometimes it can be if they're at the end of their pregnancy, it can be the body starting to use mucus plug. So it's not always an indicator of like something's wrong, but that's why we do these, to kind of do a screen. Next is specific gravity. This, on all the test strips I've seen, it's been kind of this blue to greenish brown range. As you can see, my toddler is very dehydrated. That's something that we're constantly working on with him. For our clients, we do not want them very dehydrated. And so just coaching them, if we've talked before, you've done most of your prenatal and you're at the end and you're looking at the urine strip and they say, yeah, I drink a lot of water, I'm good, my hydration's great. And then you come and their urine strip says otherwise, and you're having a conversation, what does a lot of water mean to you? What has your activity been like? I live in Oklahoma. The heat index is like 110 degrees right now. If you're in Oklahoma in 110 degree weather, you're gonna need to drink more than half your body weight in water. So just having those conversations with them. Next is ketones. They should not be having any ketones in their urine. All the test strips I've seen has been kind of this pinky color for ketones. If they have ketones in their urine, a lot of times it's telling us they're not eating enough, or at least they haven't that day when we've come to see them. If we came and saw them at lunchtime and they ate breakfast and maybe they skipped morning snack, and then now we're talking to them in the middle of their lunchtime and they haven't eaten, it wouldn't be surprising to have ketones in their urine. But it's also a good coaching moment, like, hey, no matter what's going on in your life, you gotta eat. You can't skip meals. Bilirubin is not going to come up often. It's going to be kind of an indicator of some kind of liver malfunction. So if we think about HELLP syndrome, you know, that may be kind of an indicator that something's going on, but in general, we're not going to be seeing your bilirubin or urobilirubin come up in urine samples. And then glucose. Glucose, I'm trying to turn this, is going to be this light blue area. We want them to have no glucose in their urine, obviously. If they've got glucose in their urine, their diet is probably fairly heavy, or at least it has been that day in glucose. It's important to know that this is a snapshot. You know, this is not their whole diet, that, you know, they're eating too much sugar as a whole. But maybe in the last 24 hours, maybe that morning or something like that, they may have had too much sugar if it's coming up. So talking with clients, really this is not diagnostic. This is just kind of a screening to talk with them and say, hey, do you want to do a urine strip? This is what it can mean. After we do it, walking them through with it, saying this is what each of these boxes mean for you specifically. Here's how we can improve, or here's how you're already doing great. So once I'm done, I like to kind of wrap it up in one glove and then the other, trash it, and then wash my hands.